Hello, everyone. On today's IRS Tax Refund update, we'll take a look at the latest developments as those tax refund delays continue for millions, including the latest on the remaining tax return backlog, as well as a weekly progress from the IRS. We'll also recap the latest batches of tax refunds scheduled for release this week, and take a look at the common causes of those refund delays that are currently being experienced. We'll also check in on those reports of refund freezes and refund adjustments that are being encountered by several of our viewers. Starting off with the weekly tax filing processing numbers, as the IRS has now processed 138 million tax returns out of 141 million filed, so that currently puts them at a 98.3% processing rate, which is up from the processing rate of 96.4% at this point last year. Overall, the amount of refunds this year is nearly identical to what it was at this point last year, and that's even though the total amount of tax returns filed this year is less than what it was at this point last year. Now, taking a look at the remaining backlog of unprocessed tax returns, and the current backlog is now at 3.8 million unprocessed tax returns. That is made up of returns filed this year and last year. For those still waiting on your refunds from tax returns filed this year, at this point there are still 2.3 million unprocessed tax returns remaining, while the remaining 1.4 million are remaining from last year. As we break it down, the 2.4 million are e-file returns and those requiring special processing, while the remaining 1.4 are paper tax returns. Moving on to those tax refunds, as the next batch of direct deposit refunds is scheduled to be released and transmitted to banks by the IRS on May 17th. Now, if you're part of this refund batch, most will receive those the day of, but do allow up until May 22nd for it to post to your bank account before initiating a payment trace. For those expecting a paper check refund in the mail, the next batch will be printed and mailed out on May 19th. Now, most will receive that within 7 to 10 business days, but do allow up to 30 days to receive that before initiating a payment trace. Now, as millions continue to wait on their tax refunds, some of those impacted may be aware of the specific cause of the delay, while others at this point do not. The top causes of refund delays continue to be tax returns under audit, in particular those claiming specific credits, mainly the earned income tax credit. Over the past 2 years, we've seen much stricter enforcement by the IRS for those claiming those credits and verifying the dependents being claimed. This is impacting those who have claimed the credit for the first time, but also who have been claiming the same dependents for a number of years now. If you received one or more notices from the IRS indicating they need an additional 60 days to process your tax return, you may very well be one of those impacted by the fact the IRS has not processed your employer's tax return as of yet. Now, this is needed so the IRS can match the wages you entered on your tax return versus what your employer is reporting for accuracy. Thirdly, the need for ID verification continues to impact those who continue to wait on their refunds. Now, in most cases, but not all, ID verification can in fact be completed online. Now, the need for ID verification and audits are the main reasons why you may be seeing a refund freeze, which is listed as code 810 on your tax transcripts. If you're waiting on a refund and filed a paper tax return, then the wait time is going to be longer for some, as the IRS still has not upgraded technology to a point that does not increase the amount of processing of paper tax returns. And finally, those who simply file their returns later in the tax season, including e-file returns that are at the back of the processing line. Despite those waiting on their refunds, others, in fact, are receiving their tax refunds stemming from tax returns filed this year and even last year. But some are now reporting adjusted refunds, much lower than they were expecting, and some so much so, instead of receiving a refund, they actually now owe the IRS. Common reasons we're seeing for this include math errors, which represent the incorrect amount of wages and or taxes listed on the tax return, as well as improper credits being claimed or denied by the IRS. If you're among this impacted group, the IRS will send you out a CP12 notice listing the exact error and the adjusted refund amount. Let us know in the comments section below about your ongoing tax refund issue. In the meantime, we'll keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.